everyone, welcome back to alkaline hydroxide 784, and today I'm going to be talking about the maths paper 1 for my TDBTP. Yeah, that makes it fast, and I'll try to finish it within about 10 to 12 minutes. Alright, so for the maths paper 1, you should first of all realize that there's no statistics in this. It's only pure maths. So yeah, just remember that the day before the paper. Um, just make sure all the stuff that you need is okay, like your GC. Make sure it's charged. Make sure everything is working well with the GC. But I think you need it more for your paper 2 than for your paper 1, I believe. Because statistics, you definitely need either a very good knowledge of how to use your scientific calculator, but yeah, actually you need your GCs. But for paper 1, you may not necessarily need it as much, but you still might need it if you have to solve a question that is otherwise a bit hard to solve in a sense. And apart from your calculator, make sure you have all your pencils, your pens, your ruler. If you want to have a long ruler, just prepare that. Make sure you don't have to search for it the next day morning. Obviously, you do not want to be doing that for any of your things. Just prepare your stationery, put them in your pencil case, your clear pencil case, as with any other exam. And it should be hopefully ready by the end of the day, obviously. So apart from preparing all of your stationery and whatever other objects you need, maybe from your geometry box or whatever, if you want to take your set squares or your protractor, you can take it. Apart from that, you should also take note of what other things you might need, like your jacket and all that stuff, because maths paper is 3 hours long and you might get cold if you're in an AC room or AC hall for that matter. Just prepare all of those things that you need before the paper. The other thing that you need to do is to see whether you have any last minute queries in your head, or if there's any doubts that you have. If you have a set of notes that you prepared for your maths, you can just go through the notes very quickly. If your notes are already quick, then I guess whatever pace that you use to go through. I suggest not really doing too many practice questions at this stage because you would want your mind to be relaxed before the paper. If you need to prepare for a paper that's the day after that, you can do that first before you start your maths revision. Then your mind can automatically go into that stage of only doing that particular subject. And like for example, if you have chem paper the next day, you do your chem revision first. Then for the rest of the day, you only do maths. That's how I would suggest. So you can use this for all of your other papers as well. Okay, so for maths in general, since I generally do not have any issues in doing maths, I guess apart from my GC failing on me, I don't really know what else. Yeah, if you just be confident about yourself, when you go in, maybe I'll just go through what happens on the day itself. So like you go in, you get all your 10, how many foolscap you need for doing maths. I do suggest that as with anything else, you can come up with a strategy of how you want to tackle the questions. Some of you may have a certain topic that you're good at, so you might want to actually start with that question first. But I usually just go with the first question and just go in chronological order, obviously. I just go from front to back. And if there's any question that you see that you're spending way too long on, like, after 5 minutes and you still haven't made much progress on it, then I do suggest finishing the rest of the questions first and then getting back to it. But sometimes you will already know that you would end up spending up too much time on it if you were to actually do that. Once you finish reading the question and you're like, wait, what did I just read? Then definitely go and finish the other questions first. If I believe you'll just get separate papers, so you can use one paper for one question. It doesn't matter. You don't have to worry about the issues that come from using a lot of paper for one question, and then having to do the question before that or something. You can just do them on separate pieces of paper and then order them correctly later on. So apart from that, yeah, just since it's pure maths, you don't have to worry about your statistics here. But do be prepared for all the the questions and their subparts. If I don't think you really need to go around anticipating what kind of subparts come, because you would have had enough experience in that area. So you don't have to spend your time trying to anticipate what kind of subparts come for what kind of topic. But just make sure that if you have any doubts, like there's some, like maybe you had this particular doubt on one of the differentiation or the integration, then you just go and make sure to look at it again, make sure that your doubt is cleared so that you can feel a bit more at ease and more confident. Yeah, so actually I feel like I haven't said anything useful. But yeah, it should be okay, don't worry too much about it. But the day before the paper, if you are feeling nervous, which I don't think you would be too nervous, because this is more of a, it's maths, so it's not like GP. There's a certain sense of predictability to it. You get questions in certain topics, and you need to know the certain concepts for each of the topics. And if you have done your revision diligently until now and done the TYS questions, you should be okay. Don't worry too much about it. So on that day itself, if you encounter a question that seems very hard or something very difficult for you to do, don't panic. As I said earlier, go to the next question, finish all the other questions first. Then you will actually have quite a bit of time, like maybe half an hour or even 1 hour if you're really fast. And you can spend that time slowly doing that one question. It doesn't matter. Just be calm, think about the fact that you will have time later on to do it, and then just move on. Of course, if you end up seeing like 5 questions are hard out of the 12 or 13, then still do this, like still go and finish all the easy questions first, or like the less difficult questions first, and then move on to out of the so-called difficult questions, do the least difficult one first, and then finally do the difficult one at the end, so that you don't have to stress yourself over doing that question. You finish all the other questions first, and then once you're done everything and you feel somewhat confident about the rest of the questions, which is the majority of the marks, you can spend your time doing that difficult question as much as you can. And often at times, even if the question itself may seem quite difficult, there will be certain subparts which are easy. So if you want, you can first finish those subparts first before you move on to the next question. Or if you feel like doing that first may interrupt your thought process later on, you can first finish the other question, then you can do the subparts, and then finally get to the difficult part of that question. You know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, so those are certain strategies that you can use. Yeah, if make sure you have enough pens, pencils, sharpener if you need for your pencils, and for graphs you would want to use a pencil, because there are some people who need to erase and redraw. Oh yeah, so for things like that, if you like, don't be too nitpicky about the niceness of your graphs. Of course, it is important that your graph is somewhat smooth and follows the so-called, going towards asymptote or something like that. But please don't overdo it. Like, don't think through it so many times. Or as with earlier, you can always leave that part to the end. Like, you draw it first, and then if you want, when you're checking it again, you can go and if you want to fix it a little bit, you can do it, because you have the time to actually do it, the luxury of time. And at the end of the paper, when you're checking your answers, that is, if you have the time to check your answers, you can either check it backwards, or you can redo the question and see if the method that you use is different. So it depends on your style of checking. Or you can just read through your working and see if there's anything that seems out of place or out of ordinary. Just be extra careful once you're reading through the working. And for those who tend to be a bit messy sometimes, and want to make it a little bit less messy, you can choose to first work it out in your rough, super messy state, and then rewrite it nicely again in a less messy state once you're done with the paper. But please don't write too super messily, because if you end up not having time, then your paper is gonna just be a illegible mess of numbers and don't know what. Yeah, so just do take note of all of this when you're doing the paper. So for the day before the paper, just be calm. Don't think too much about what's going to happen the next day. Just prepare all of your things. Make sure your GC has been sufficiently charged. All your stationery are ready to be used. If you need new stationery, just get it and put them in your pencil case or whatever. And also your entry proof and all the other things that you need. And yeah, don't panic too much. Like just calm yourself down before the exam, the day before as well. Just calm yourself down. Also think of what's ahead and prepare for that as well. So yeah, I hope you found this video useful. If you did, you can subscribe. With that, I would like to say thank you and bye. Well, good luck for your maths paper.